Hey there, everybody. This is just a quick tutorial promised a couple of days ago. Sorry it's late, but here we go. I'm just going to real quick go through the steps of creating the decoration number 3, which is the flower that was the center for the eye. And I'm just going to go ahead and complete the whole thing. And I'm going to talk as little as I can. But we're going to start with the pen tool. Now, the default is always red for the fill, and make sure that you're in shapes, not paths here. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my flower. And I'm making it a little bit wider than the others that we've done before. And I'm holding tab to pull up so that I can have a nice crisp set of lines here on the inside of the petal. Now this is kind of for one reason, mostly. It's to create negative space in my flower. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and take this and just hang tight with it for a second. And here I'm going to switch to my ellipse, and I'm just going to click once for the ellipse. And I'm going to make this a relatively small 25 by 25 pixels ellipse, and I'm going to put it just about as close to dead center as I can. And I'm going to line up my petal with it. Now, after I've done that, I don't need to use the shape tool anymore, at least not for a little while. Okay, so you know what? I lied. Let me go ahead and change the color of the petal to something like a light blue. All right, so all I have to do now is go back to my move tool, and from here on out, what I'm going to be doing is, let me put this on the bottom here. I'm going to be using this as my center of rotation, and I'm going to duplicate all of the petals, and I'm going to, put it all the way around. And the way to do that is you Control J to duplicate, and there we have our copy. Then I'm going to do free transform. In Photoshop, it's Control T. In Photopea, it's Alt Control T. And I'm going to drag the rotational center little square box all the way to the center of our new rotational center. And then while holding Shift, I'm going to rotate it over to the other side, 180 degrees opposite. Now that I've got that done, here in the layers, I'm going to Shift click so that I select both at the same time. I'm going to do the same thing over again. Control J to duplicate and free transform. This time, I'm just going to move it over a bit. There we go. At about right there. And I'm going to confirm my transformation that I'm going to duplicate that and free transform again. Now I've got my flower. All right, so this is the center of the eye that I'm making. As you know, in traditional sugar skull art, there's always some kind of a decoration between the petals. In this case, I'm just going to create a simple heart. Now, I'm going to do the same heart design that we learned how to do in the Bezier game. I'm going to go ahead and start by dragging just for my initial anchor, and then holding Alt to make a V with the Bezier handles. Then I'm going to click down here, right below the center of the heart, and pull until I like the shape of the wing of the heart. And when I get to a really nice angle, I'm going to go ahead and hold Alt and kind of match the first Bezier angle with the new one, and then I let go. Now when I'm done, if I did it correctly, all I have to do is click once where I started, and it will create my heart. I'm going to switch the heart to red because I just think it looks nice. And now I'm going to move it into position, and using my free transform, I'm going to just kind of angle it to where it goes in there and make it a better size. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and, yeah, I like the way that looks. I'm going to go ahead and free transform again and do just like I did before. sorry, I have to duplicate it first. Now free transform, just like I did before. Drag the rotational center to this dot right here. And if you're off a little bit, it's no big deal. And holding shift while I rotate will put it 180 degrees on the other side of it. Just like before, again, I shift click to select both of them, Control J, and then free transform. Now I can just rotate until I think it looks like it's in a nice place. I'm going to do it again, Control J, and then free transform one more time. All right, so that is the flower. Now that I'm done with my rotational center here as my rotational center, I'm going to go ahead and free transform that to make it larger. I'm going to hold Alt and Shift at the same time so it just kind of grows outwards. There you go. And now, last little touch, I'm going to go back to my Shapes tools and change the color to something nice. Here we go. A little bit of a color change there. So now I've got my flower for the center of my eye. Now it's a little too big for to fit. So I'm going to select the whole thing and then do a free transform and just shrink it so that I can put my eye there. Now, on the eye, I go back to the background because I want my new layer to be underneath everything. I'm going to go to my pen tool, and I'm going to freehand draw my eye hole, I guess it is, that would be on a sugar skull. And my idea is I'm kind of making it look as if you were to pop the lens out of a pair of sunglasses or something. So it's going to look like that. And I'm going to switch it to black for the fill. So now I've got, oh, I didn't switch to my move tool. All right, so now I've got the shape just the way I want it. And the next thing to do is to duplicate this. I want another one of these. So I'm going to do Control J. And I'm going to go back to the bottom, what do you call it? The bottom or original excuse me, the original eye hole shape. And then on that one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my shapes options here. And I'm going to add a stroke that is right here. I'm going to add a stroke that is, what color should I use? Let's go with red so it stands out. Now, in this color with red, I'm giving it a stroke, but you can't really see it. It's barely there. And I want to change it from the solid to these dots here. Now, you can't really see it, like I said before. So in order to see it, I need to turn up the size. And once I get it to where they're all spaced out nice, and I think it looks good, right about there, I can stop. And I have completed that. Now all I have to do is group everything, start at the bottom right here where it says shape 3 all the way to the top. And I'm going to use Control G. That makes a group. I'm going to name this left eye. Now it's on our right, but it's the left eye of the skull. So now if I uncheck my auto select, because I have the whole folder selected, I can just move it around using my move tool. Now I don't need to really work on do this all over again. All I have to do is do Control J for the folder, and it copies the entire folder. Then I rename it right eye. Now I've got both eyes. Now I'm going to take that right eye and move it down here. Doesn't look like a right eye though. So what I need to do is I need to do a free transform, right click, and flip horizontally. Now I've got two eyes. All right, so that's the tutorial. Everyone have a wonderful day. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing your work.